I want to talk about the book that just came out from Clinton's campaign biographer, basically outlining how she went wrong. I'm reading something that was on yahoo.com by Dylan Stableford, April 19th, the co-author of the book detailing Hillary Clinton's loss in 2016 presidential election. Was written by Jonathan Allen, and he co-wrote it with The Hill's Amy Parnes. I haven't read the book. I have not read the book, but just going off of this article, they point out some things that are like, yeah, this is where Hillary missed the boat. But also this guy, because he worked on, I mean, good for him, I guess, for like, hey, someone within that campaign has to go, oh, we made a mistake, versus it was Jill Stein and the Russians and everybody else. So that's, gerrymandering and all these things. Like, yeah, there's gerrymandering that happened in Wisconsin, but if you campaign there, you might have gotten more votes. This article really goes into, from an insider, how out of touch the Clintons are. Like how they just can't apologize. They can't admit when they're wrong. I mean, this is like, and this goes, Bill Clinton, I don't care, and I think most Americans didn't care that he slept with Monica Lewinsky. He lied to the grand jury. I've talked about this before. I mean, shit, I've been talking about this since the 90s. All he had to do was say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I screwed up. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I made a mistake. I cheated on my wife. I'm sorry. I've let down my family and the American people. But look how great the economy is. That's what he should have been doing. And instead, he just lie. All he does is lie. And they can't ever admit they're wrong. Even when she called Trump's supporters deplorables. And at that debate, they called her on it, and she just backpedaled. Well, and I'm sorry, and she couldn't. She's just a career corporate politician where everything has to be focus grouped, and her team has to tell her how to respond. She can't just answer like an honest, real person, because they're not. They're just. Honestly, it's like a celebrity that's been famous since they were like a kid or a teenager. They just don't know how to operate in the regular world, and they don't know what that means. Or some athlete that's been getting special treatment since they were 15 or something like that. They just don't know. And that's what the Clintons are. They just have no idea. I remember during that debate, I tweeted, I said to Hillary, just say racists are deplorable. All she had to say was, I shouldn't have said everyone was deplorable, but doing the Nazi salute and the racist stuff that's coming out of there, that is deplorable, because America is, like she could have just spun it into a thing, and instead she just, she's always like, she'd choreograph, walk over and talk to the regular people. Like everything is so, and these videos and interviews she's doing now are all the same shit. So I'm going to read you some of this, and it's going to be hard to not get either laugh or get really pissed off. But so here's what this guy Jordan Allen said when he was talking to Yahoo News. It was like standing on a beach and seeing a slow-moving tsunami from the middle of the ocean moving towards you, and you never move. So they did see what was going on in Great Britain. Bill Clinton talked about Brexit all the time. Hillary Clinton was concerned about it, Allen said, but she was really never had the feel of what was going on in this country and how to adjust for it in the right way. Oh boy, I know. I mean, you saw she tried to adopt some of Bernie's progressive policies, but she didn't have a strategy for working class people. She didn't have any sort of populist anything. All she had was just like button pushing, agendas, and Trump's bad, and ladies, we all got to rally around. And it's like, yeah, I'm a white male, and I'm sure Hillary has taken way more shit than I can ever possibly imagine, but she's also worth hundreds of millions of dollars. She doesn't yeah, she's taken shit as a woman, but has she gone through the struggles that I and any working person of any gender, any ethnicity have gone through? Does she currently have like a couple $100 in her bank account and is not sure how she's going to pay rent May 1st? While she pays her daughter $100 million to run their fucking foundation that sold plutonium to the Russians, among other things? Um, here's this, what Alan said. She is someone who has always believed in working through the system and trying to make change through the system. This is someone who fundamentally believes in the establishment. Yeah. And that's why you lost. You couldn't see that because the system has benefited you. You rise up in politics, you get big kickbacks from lobbyists. I mean, she was a lawyer for Tyson Chicken in like the 70s and 80s. And they gave her big money. She was an attorney for all these things. She got the big corporate attorney. She started as a corporate attorney. Yeah, play ball with the big corporations. It's a great system. Why is everyone in America so mad? Why are they all going to these Bernie rallies and Donald Trump rallies? Like, how could you not see that? Like, I don't like Trump, and it was when he started his campaign, I was like, this guy's scary. He's saying shit that, Hitler said in the early 30s. But I understood the working people like, oh, here's some guy, and he didn't use, he was like, I'm not using a teleprompter. The same thing with Barrie. Who's this crazy old dude from Vermont talking about? He was an old Jewish guy saying, Palestine and Israel need to come together. Israel needs to take responsibility for how it treats Palestine. An old Jewish guy was saying this. People were waking up to that fact. And Hillary couldn't do any of this. It's how she lived her life, believing in the establishment. And the idea that American public would turn around and sort of burn down what it had built, this thing that she believes in, it was too hard for her to grasp. They're not burning down this thing. You built a mansion and you let people sleep in tents in the alley and then you wonder why they got mad. That's what you're doing. I've said it before. And the Democratic Party and Hillary's wing of it, her campaign was just Goldman Sachs with a fucking rainbow flag. Well, it's great that gays get married. I was in favor of gay marriage. The Constitution's pretty clear. Everybody gets the same rights. But if you don't help out working people, then you're not helping out anybody. You're not doing anything. People that benefit from the system are always bewildered when someone doesn't benefit from the system and doesn't like it. I mean, I deal with this in show business. Like, if you're, I moved out to Los Angeles 20 years ago as a comedian, and it was like, you do stand-up comedy around town at all the big clubs, the Improv and the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory, and you audition and everything, and then you get in TV, and then it, but traditional media can just say, no, you're done. And so that's why a lot of us started doing podcasting, a lot of us in comedy, and a lot of us started doing YouTube. I mean, Jimmy Dore has inspired me to do this because the system is not fair. It's not even. It's a broken system. But comedy friends of mine that I know that like, they've got TV shows and movies, they're doing great. They're like, why would I do a podcast and do these videos and do all the editing myself? Yeah, because the system fails you. And the Clintons are part of the system. And then they're so arrogant, they can never apologize or admit they're wrong. That's their biggest problem. That's what, and that's what cost Hillary the election in 2008. Why did she get to run again? It's just like, and this is the problem with the Democratic Party. And you're seeing it when someone's honest and upfront, they get crushed. Look what happened. I did a video on Tulsi Gabbard, the Democrat from Hawaii who's been outspoken. She's an Iraq vet, and she's like, why? Let's ask more questions about Syria. This isn't good. We need congressional approval. And Howard Dean is like jumping all over her. The Clintons just have they're completely out of touch, and this was the problem. And then it's just, you must hate women if you don't like Hillary. No, I don't like corporate insider liars. I don't like them. And just because you're for gay marriage you're only about that much better than like some dick on the right. And this is another very telling thing. The book details a summer 2015 conference call between Bill and Hillary Clinton and her top aides. The former First Family was reportedly furious that her campaign had not come up with a way to break through the email scandal. The aides were all thinking, you've got to apologize. We've been telling you, you've got to apologize, Allen said. It was an example of how the Clintons didn't get or didn't want to get that she needed to apologize. And eventually she did, but it took a really strong persuasion effort all the way up and down the ranks of her close friends and allies to get her to do it. And when she did do it, it wasn't believable. It's like when some professional athlete is an asshole, and you can tell like his agent in the league tells him you better apologize, and they're just reading some statement. On behalf of my family, I so apologize for my efforts and behavior. It will never happen again. It's like that shit. She gave one of those, and everyone's like, I don't believe her. Because you could tell in her core she didn't think she did anything wrong. Right? And I don't think the email thing was that big of a deal anyway. But I don't think it was that big of a deal personally. But that's part of the Clinton problem. They can never admit anything. She's acting like she's on the campaign trail again now for 2020. She's not like, I completely dropped the ball, I screwed up, I didn't listen to the working class people, and I want to get the Democratic Party back to being a populist party. We need to talk to the working class people. It's my fault that we didn't. She should be saying that. Nope. Clintons don't know how to do that, man. They don't know how to do that. And it's like, this is why we have Trump. And no one wants to admit that. And then I see these posts and tweets, she's so nice, and tweet, I'm sure she's really nice. George Bush was really nice. Obama's nice. Bill Clinton's nice. Reagan was nice. Bush Sr. was nice. High-level politicians are nice, charming people. That's how they get to be there. It's one of the reasons they get to be there. So I just, it's hilarious, man. But like and support, and the Patreon backers, I want to, for those of you who just became Patreon supporters this month in April, this is how Patreon works. You get charged the first of the next month. So May 1st, you'll get charged. So after you get charged May 1st, then you will get all of your rewards pending on whatever tier you get. Some of you have emailed me like, hey, Graham, when are we going to talk about this article and that article and stuff like that. So after you get charged, I'll send out an email once everything clears around somewhere between the 4th or 5th of May, and then you send me your articles through Patreon. I'll email you through Patreon. So pay attention, because I think some of the Patreon emails go into spam folders. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I see many of you share it on social media, and I think that's awesome. Thanks for watching.